Good evening, everyone. It is October 12th, 2023, and pretty decently eventful session. We had CPI come out pre-market, and then we had I think it was the 30-year bond auction come out around, I think it was 1:01 p.m. And we have gotten what I would call, or I guess I shouldn't say I would call, it's what I think his name was David Paul. He's no longer with us, but essentially what he'd like to see was at least two green days in a row. But it's nicer that we got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row, with the final day having a high close before a day that takes out this low over here. So we've managed to do that, and yeah, I was hoping for a little bit of a weaker close, but I'll take what I can get. And upon that break of yesterday's low, I did get short for a swing trade. We'll see how that goes. Stop is at the high. Currently, futures are trading a little bit above that Wednesday low. So let's see what we can get tomorrow, and maybe I'll scratch the trade if we start taking out. If we start accepting above the overnight high and all that sort of stuff, I'll probably scratch the trade and look to re-enter higher. Uh, Nice sell on the SPY today on decent volume. Nothing extraordinary like these prior sells, but some decent volume here. Nasdaq, same thing. Uh, okay volume, but not really getting anywhere. Unable to really get into those Tuesday lows. The S&P was able to flush those Tuesday lows really nicely. Not able to do so on the Qs, and the Qs were extremely big this morning. The Dow, the Russell, the ES, everything was falling apart on that CPI data, and I guess tech has become the rotation, the safety trade. That's become our safety place because Apple and all these big tech stocks were insanely bid. They were holding the open while the rest of the market was just crapping out. I don't think I've seen such divergence between the Nasdaq and the S&P before. I've been watching for about 6 months or so, and I don't think I've seen that sort of action happen before. Rusty, significantly red day on some pretty solid volumes over here. Again, nothing amazing like these prior sessions or anything like this over here, 50 million share kind of day, but decent volumes coming back into the lows. Dow, where's the actual index? Here we go. Dow also selling down. Dow has been leading us on this rally with an extremely short position coming into the lows, and now looks like it's starting to get a re-emergence of those sellers. However, I remain unconvinced until we take out some more major lows, maybe something like that Monday low, or uh, for now it just still looks like it can't really get anywhere. It closed back inside yesterday and Tuesday's range. So not really too convinced. I'm not completely in love with my S&P short, the swing short. Uh, just given that the Nasdaq was so extremely bid today in the morning, it only let go of the bid after that 30-year auction came out and dumped the entire market, including TLT, obviously. The Qs are bid. Rusty's selling. Okay, that's all right, but doesn't really have a giant impact on the S&P. And the Dow Jones, getting some sort of selling, but closing inside the past couple days range. So nothing absolutely incredible on the short side here. Perhaps we do have just a little bit higher to go. So I'll be looking to stay swing short on this thing as long as we don't break the overnight high or any sort of other auctions to the upside. If we do, I'll get out of it. Maybe re-enter on Friday's close if things are lining up for it. In terms of tomorrow, let's start off with the S&P over here. Here's how I want to trade this thing. If we're able to get some downward movement during Globex, let's see settlement lows get tagged, breached, whatever. Maybe trade under whatever this is on the ES 432.5, somewhere around there. If we can trade up below there, and really what I'd like to see is an open below there. If we can open below settlement lows, I'm going to lean towards the overnight low getting broken, the prior day's low getting broken, getting back inside last week's range. That's what I was really hoping for today, was we dig into last week's range a little bit. Uh, If we can do all that, I'll look for a break of the IB low and all that sort of stuff. I think this is where we will find some bids somewhere around 429. I think the upper 429s is a little bit aggressive, but I think somewhere around here, somewhere around this afternoon auction that led the breakout, somewhere between 428 half and 429 half. I think that'll end up being our bids. Whether they're enough to get back in sort of this upper balance, I don't think so. I think we'd end up coming down further in the coming days. But that's how I'm looking to play this thing. I think this is a sort of breakout session that we are setting ourselves up for. It's not going to be as balanced as the past couple. So, break settlement lows, I'm looking for prior day's low, all that sort of stuff to the downside. Instead, if we start getting above this kind of 435 spot and do not tag settlement lows, I'm going to be looking for this thing to drift upwards. And that is mostly because of how bid the NASDAQ was today. I imagine if we were kind of drifting sideways here, the NASDAQ's going to be pumping, which will send us eventually to move higher. Break kind of this area. Settlement highs, wherever the hell that is. Maybe I should label that. Where are you? There you are. Green. Settlement high, settlement close, open, high, all that sort of crap. Break all that stuff. Get into that gap close. Whether we sell out there or pump, I don't really know. I don't think I'll want to be short. I think the move is to either find the short somewhere here for a move down into 429s, or find the long somewhere here for a move up into 438s. Qs, again, just look at this thing, super bid. While the market was falling apart, here's a 5-minute chart. While the market was falling apart on the ES here, right off the open, just started crapping out. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ was just staying perfectly bid off of what was yesterday's highs and the settlement highs, and kind of stayed above that open price right until the bond auction came out. So for tomorrow, same idea. If we break settlement lows, I'm looking for a break of previous day's lows, getting into last week's range, and I think we find bids somewhere around this auction price, 363s below there. It's getting excessively liquidaty. Above, it's kind of my pivot. If we get above today's open, settlement high, settlement close, all that sort of stuff, there's a little level here. I'm just going to get rid of it. If we can get above all this crap, I think we'll easily break these highs. I don't think this level is going to matter. I think we get into this kind of 376-ish spot. Kind of this balance here. You can see it balancing back in September. All right. I think that's all I got. Futures. Ooh, all this crap on the screen. They're going up for now. I need to see what Europe does. I need to see if we can get into these settlement lows during blowback. So far, we have not. Low coming in at 78-ish. Settlement lows are 77-ish. I need to see if we can start dumping below there, kind of hanging out below value area low. In my opinion, that'd be setting us up for a nice move down. Yeah, that's how I'm kind of looking at this. Nothing really else to talk about. NAS's bid, rusty crap like it's been all year. Dow, I imagine the shorts are still very crowded, and Spoos is just kind of hanging out with these fellas offside from the past couple days. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. Y'all have a clear picture of this thing by the open. Have a great night and trade safe.